y'all, I'm Emily, the Shady Grove Stitcher, and I love creating beautiful hand-stitched pieces. Welcome to the Pink Room, where I share my love of cross-stitch by showcasing projects I've completed in my quest to fill an antique cabinet my husband and I inherited from my in-laws.
Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the Pink Room to spend time with me. I want to kind of start today by telling you I need a new game plan. I'm just going to be really real with you. I need a new game plan. So I like to record on Wednesday, the Wednesday before I post the video for you. And that gives me plenty of time to block my schedule and make sure I can do my hair and edit the video, because I really like to be sure that I'm displaying things on screen really clearly. And then I also just really get a kick out of things like, I've done sound effects before, or funny little noises or songs or whatever. I like that. The issue is it takes a lot of time. It takes 3, 4, 5 hours for me to do that. And I just don't have that kind of time right now. So I had a couple of options. I can turn the camera on and just, the video is what it is, right? Like whatever stupid thing comes out of my mouth is just what you hear, and there is no editing. And I can still try to keep my 2-week schedule. I could try to give myself a little bit more time between videos, but to be honest, I'm not sure that anything is going to change. I don't know that an extra week is going to be more helpful. I think that things are just going to kind of keep being really busy. And life is good. Life is fine. Henry is good. My husband is good. My parents are good. Everybody in my life is fine. It's just work has gone from being something that just sort of like hangs out in the background to something that is pedal to the metal, 10 hours a day. Whatever I'm doing is just really not good enough right now. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. So I apologize for not delivering to you the same quality maybe that I have been in the past. But you guys have been so supportive, and I think / hope that you'll be fine with it. I think we have developed enough of a rapport now, and I imagine that you would say to me, like we were having this conversation in real time, I expect that you would say, I don't care. Don't put the picture on the screen. It's fine. So I'm trying to be okay with less than what is ideal in my brain. And that's really tough. So that's my housekeeping for today. I've been busy. I've been really busy with craft room things, which is great. So some of you guys may have seen on my Instagram, I posted a picture of a dresser, and I said, who thinks that I bought a dresser for my crafting supplies or my cross stitch supplies? If you answered yes, congratulations, you were right. I did. So the closets in our house are generously sized, which I love. And when we moved in, I put a set of open shelves in the closet, and I just keep adding things to this closet. And it's become non-functional is really kind of where we landed. I also don't like that even though things are on shelves, it looks really messy. That drives me bananas. So another odd thing about my closet is it has a window in it. And so I like leaving the door to the closet open because it lets more light into the room. So I was like, this closet needs some help ASAP. Just suddenly one day I couldn't take it anymore. So I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace to see if I could find a dresser, because I wasn't going to go to Haverty's and buy a $600 dresser for this. I was trying to find something, that somebody was getting rid of. There were some options on Amazon that were like, they say they have fabric drawers, and apparently it's like particle board or MDF or something wrapped in fabric. I didn't feel confident in that, even though it was inexpensive. I just didn't feel confident in that as a solution. So most of the things, I think we've talked about it before, but if you're new here, most of the things in our house are antique pieces, kind of like this cabinet. And so even though this is going in a closet, I still wanted to purchase something that in the event that we don't live in this house, or I get a wild hair out my bohiney and want to move furniture around, which I am known to do on the regular, that I would feel comfortable putting a piece in the living room, in the pink room, not in a closet. So I found a beautiful dresser. It has been painted with a dark bluish blackish paint, from a lady. I had seen her post other things on Facebook Marketplace. $65 for this thing. I was like, that is unbelievable. So I messaged her and I said, hi, if you don't have a buyer yet. This was on Thursday. Today's Saturday. So on Thursday, I messaged her and I said, hey, if you don't have a buyer yet, I'm very interested, and would like to purchase it. And she said, I've had a lot of interest and a lot of messages, but nobody's committed. And I was like, well, it's me, I'm committing. And she was literally 8 minutes from my house, hopped in the car, ran down there. She was so nice, you guys. So nice. She helped me load it. I brought it home. It was great. So yesterday, my husband has off for Good Friday, and so I had taken the day off too. We did some errands. We came home. We trimmed trees, which was an arduous task. It needed to be done. It looks so much better, but it was a lot. So we did that. And then I came inside to sort of like put this closet together, and I started by pulling everything out of the closet, which felt very overwhelming. I was like, God, I own way too much stuff. And I put everything in the closet, and none of my cross-stitch stuff fit in this dresser, y'all. Part of my goal in this dresser was making sure that I could put the cross-stitch stuff in there. My dad's best friend had a toy box when he was little, and gifted it to me at some point. And so I have a toy box that I have used as a coffee table, as an ottoman. It's just a wood box. I mean, you wouldn't know it's a toy chest, I don't think. But I've used it in a lot of places. And right now it houses all my cross-stitch stuff. And so I wanted to get everything off my shelves and out of the toy box and into one dresser, and it didn't work. And it didn't work because the entire bottom drawer of the dresser was full of batting. And I just don't need to allocate that much space to batting. So this morning I got in there and took it all back out, put it all back together. But I'm really pleased. It's a 3-drawer dresser. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below, and I can do maybe like a closet tour to show you kind of how I organize myself. But the top of the dresser now is a great workspace. I was able to put a cutting mat on it. And then my top drawer is full of notions and tools. My middle drawer is full of cross-stitch fabric and things that I already have kitted up and ready to go. And then my bottom drawer is full of quilting cotton, most of which I will use to finish cross-stitch pieces, but some I have left over in case I reignite my love of quilting. So I'm very pleased with that. I'm very pleased that it no longer looks messy. I have some family photos that I don't necessarily want on the walls of rooms, and so I have hung them in the closet so that I can still enjoy them when I'm in there. And like I said, if I leave the door open to let more light in, that lets more light into the pink room, and I can enjoy the pictures. So that's kind of nice. Aside from the, well, loosely related to organization, I guess, not directly related to emptying and putting the closet back together. Today, I actually finished putting all of my, so let's see if I can hold this up for you. Kinda. So I have 3 of these containers, and these are my, oh shoot, it fell over. Hold on, let me put these little fellas back in order so that I don't get askew. These are my Annie's Keepers. It doesn't look like that's focusing. There we go. Annie's Keepers with the Pip and Chip stickers on them. I'm so pleased with how these came out. So I have 2 sets of DMC, not complete sets of DMC. I mean, I have these drawers of DMC up here, and then my mom volunteers at a resale shop, and somebody brought in this K's Creations tower, and there's not another way for me to describe it. It's a wooden container. It's pretty narrow, and it holds 5 different, what do you call those things? tackle boxes full of floss. So it was the Case Creations thing plus all of the tackle boxes, all of them full of floss. And it was $10. Like, what? So I went through and I made floss drops. I made Annie's Keepers for all of the floss that's in these drawers. I want to have all the drops done, and then I will start unbobbinating, debobbinating, unwinding, whatever you call it. I don't know what the proper term is. I'll start taking the floss out of the cabinet and putting it onto the bobbins. I had a whole debate over, was I going to put the bobbin, was I going to put the floss drops in like a clear file folder, I guess you would call it, because you can put the Annie's Keepers on like a bar and then they all hang down. I think it's 16 on a bar. And then people put them into these file folders. And that seemed like a really great idea because it can be pretty dusty where we are, and I didn't want the floss to get dusty. But on a very superficial level, I think it's really pretty to look at the floss. So I kind of wanted to hang it on pegboard. Well, as it turned out, my husband had an extra piece of pegboard, and so it was free. I was going to need at least 2, if not 3 boxes, and the boxes were $30 or $40 a piece, and the pegboard was free. So I went with the free. After investing in the drops and the stickers, I didn't really want to invest in the boxes too, so I went with the pegboard. He has put it in the closet, so all of that is going great. I have already put I have 37 Classic Color Works and about 50 Weeks Dye Works. All of those are already on their floss drops. They're hanging on the pegboard. It is as glorious as I wanted it to be. The DMC is taking a little bit of extra time, which I knew that it would. But I've broken it down into manageable chunks. First, I'm gonna do the stickers on the drops. Then my floss is these little acrylic drawers. I don't think I showed them to you guys. They come from Michael's. When you pull one drawer out, it has 3 sections. So I'm gonna just try to do it section by section and take it a little bit at a time. And then as I'm done, I can move them into the closet and put them on the pegboard, and I just love it. I'm so pleased with the system. I debated over it for ever and a day, but it's coming together and I'm really pleased. So, wanted to update you guys. I have, as I was like, I'm a monogamous stitcher. Oh gosh, the color is changing. It's really cloudy and drizzly here today. So I thought, oh, the color won't change on my video. False. I'm going to show you some haul in a little bit. And as a part of haul, I got a frame for Winter Moon, but I needed to add a little bit to Winter Moon. So I had, Christmas bells going on, and then I had Dasher and Dancer going on, and then all of a sudden I had Winter Moon going on, and I'm like, 3 WIPs is too many WIPs for me. But I thought I would show you my progress on Dasher and Dancer. I'm working ahead. We're currently in April. I'm working ahead into May because I can't stop myself. So I just thought I'd show you kind of where I am on Dasher and Dancer. And then I'll show you Batter Up by Little House Needleworks in just a bit. So let's do WIPs first. So I don't think I have shown you this on Flosstube. I know I have posted it on, what's that app? Instagram. So I will probably talk to you about this in depth at some point once I get it framed. It's on the schedule for I don't even know when. But there was some, okay, I didn't do it like it was charted. I will talk to you about all those revisions some other time. But for the time being, I had some snow. It went up to about where the top of the moon is, and I added more snow at the top because I got a frame for this to go in. It's pewter. I was originally looking for something gold, and every gold frame I put it in just looked ridiculous, but the pewter is beautiful. It's also tabletop, which I love a tabletop to stand for. That's the correct frame. I love a tabletop frame for seasonal stuff because I'm probably not going to hang seasonal stuff on the wall. So I'm really happy with my frame. I'm eager to get this done. And yeah, that's what I know. I was picking at some linen over here on the side. So something, I had some pulls in the linen. Brief aside, if you're new to cross stitch. So I didn't know this. My friend Lisa, she's L Snaps on Instagram, and I think she's L Snaps and Stitch on YouTube. I will put that in the description below. I will still do a description. I'm just not going to edit the video. Anyway, Lisa and I were talking about whenever she shows her hoops, she's got like shelf paper liner in there. And I was telling her that I was super nervous about clamping over stitches. And she was saying that she always puts something between her linen and her Q-snap. My hands are down here like doing all this weird stuff. She tries to put something between her Q-snap and her linen so that it doesn't pull the linen. And I was like, does it really pull the linen? And I looked down and I had a pull in my linen. And I was like, well, I'll be darned. She's a very smart lady. I didn't think she was a liar. I just had never had that happen until that. So Winter Moon is in progress. I've got the snow on there. I am finished with it again. I need to put it on a piece of foam core and lace it, and then I can put it in the frame, and that'll be done and ready to share with you guys. Again, whenever that's on the schedule, I don't know. Okay, Dasher and Dancer. I don't have the pattern for Dasher and Dancer, and I'm not planning on editing this, and I'm so sorry because somebody said, I wish you would show the pattern, and I didn't bring the pattern. My apologies. I'm doing Dasher and Dancer by Hobby House Press with my friend Carrie of Red Velvet Quilts, and we're doing it as a stitch along. We have a calendar in the description. I'll put in the description below where we have broken down the pattern piece by piece so that we will hopefully be finished by October. Now, given how long March took, we started in March, given how long March took, I'm getting really nervous about October, but that's future Emily's problem. I started on these, somebody called them poinsettias, but this is a tree in the center of the pattern. And I'm so obsessed because it's like, it's mindless stitching more or less. And I love doing it. I totally love doing it. Some people, okay, so this is the first time I've ever stitched an alphabet. I've been stitching since 2020. It's the first time I've ever stitched an alphabet. Some people are like, oh, I love stitching letters. Not this girl. These were not my jam. I messed them up more times than I can count. I'm glad the letter portion of this stitch along is over. So that's been going on. That's been fun. And then my finished piece today is Batter Up by Little House Needleworks. And this, we talked, one of the first floss tubes, about how I was showing you guys things that aren't finished. And that was true. I was showing you things that aren't finished, but I don't like doing it. I don't like showing you things that aren't finished. And so Flosstube has really made me fully finish things. And I wasn't going to fully finish this because I don't really like it. My husband and I are big baseball fans, and we're visiting every major league ballpark. And when I was first getting into cross stitch, I thought, oh, it's baseball related. That will be great for us. It's fine. But it's still part of my stitching journey. So I wanted to fully finish it. It is a little stand up. I have quilted. Let me see if I get it just right in the light. There is no prayer of you seeing that. I'm so sorry. But it's quilted on all sides. And then it's a little poofy in the back. She's a little junk in her trunk. But then it's on a solid surface. So she stands up all on her lonesome. And so I took, as I was fully finishing this, I asked you guys if you were interested in a tutorial on fully finishing, and I was joking last time and I said, people said yes, and that's not true. It's not that people said yes, just nobody said no. I think a couple of you did say yes. So I have the photos to show you how I did it. But I will have to edit that together. So I'm not sure if I will do that next time or if I'll do it as a Flosstube extra or what, but this is my finished piece and it's been living in the cabinet. And as much as I'm not obsessed with it, like I still love having it done and in the cabinet. I love it being a part of my stitching story. Before I forget, speaking of stitching stories, so there's a new floss tuber. Her name is Vashti, and her name, handle, whatever you call it, channel is called The Cute Olive. She had started messaging me. She found my videos and was like, I'm going to get in trouble with my husband because I keep laughing at you. She meant it in a nice way. She wasn't being mean. And so then she and I started chatting, and she was really delightful, and I was really enjoying our interactions. And then one day she was like, and I floss tubed. Love it. She's got one episode out right now. But she goes through like her whole stitching journey. She does model stitching. She works at the attic. I thought it was so fun to see somebody's very granular stitching journey. Whereas I will hold something up and say, oh, I did this in 2020. Like, she took us back in time and started at the beginning and told us everything she stitched and who she liked and why she liked it and how her tastes changed and her skills evolved. And I just thought it was a blast. So I will put a link to her channel below, and I encourage you to go watch her if you're looking for a new floss tuber and a good story. She's a great one, you guys. I think that brings us to haul. I'm going to show you a bunch of frames. So I was watching Jordan, the tattooed stitcher, and she took us on a tour of her craft room. And in the corner of a closet, she had a whole bunch of frames. And I thought, that's genius, because that way she's just got frames kind of at the ready. Now, maybe she has something that works for her finished piece. Maybe she doesn't. But it prevents her from being in a panic to go, in my brain, I don't know, she didn't say this. It prevents her from being in a panic every time she's got to finish something, right? And I just really love the idea of having a stash of frames. So my mother, who is retired, and always, we joke that she is my personal shopper because she loves to shop, and she really loves to shop when she's spending somebody else's money. So I asked her, if you're out and running around and you stop somewhere, or you're at the resale shop and you find some frames, I would be interested in some frames. Separately, she has a friend who runs a booth at an antique store. So she texted her friend and was like, hey, Emily's looking for frames. If you've got any, let me know. And she texted me and she said, I asked Sunny if she's got frames, and I was like, Mother, why did you do that? Oh my God, I don't want to get this lady involved. Like, I don't know how interested I'm going to be, and I don't want her to take all this. I had to go back to my mother and say, I thought that it was going to be a pain, and I thought you made a bad decision, and I was very wrong, because there were a whole lot of frames and I really super loved them. So I just thought I'd show them to you guys. I thought you might think they were fun. Beep beep. Some of these are cuter than others. Sorry for my wrestling. Okie dokie. And some of them are older than others. So I got this little puppy, and I don't remember what size these are. It doesn't matter. You're not going to put something in them. But I love that this had rounded corners, and then this little gold detail right here I thought was pretty great. So I've got that. This one I am so obsessed with. It's a wall frame with a green inlay right here. So good. And I was reading on, I think it was Jordan's video this week, somebody said if you put craft paper, okay, let's make believe that you lace your piece or glue it or whatever you do. I mean, no judgment, but you fully finish your piece, you pop it in the frame, and then you can either put those little, oh man, I just used them earlier and I forgot what they're called. Those little pointy doer jobbers that hold your piece in the frame. You put those in there to hold it in there. And then you can cut craft paper. I've seen Lori Holt do it, but you can cut craft paper on the back just to make it tidier and nicer. I mean, not that somebody's gonna walk in your house and take it off the wall and be like, hey, what's going on the back of your piece? It's not gonna happen, but just for your own peace of mind, if you would like to do that. Somebody said if you glue the craft paper down and then spritz it with water, when it dries really taut, just like you had it professionally framed. So I can't speak to the validity of that, but I did hear it. I've been showing you the back of this. You could at least been looking at the pretty side. I'm so sorry. I can't speak to the validity of that, but I think it's a neat idea. Maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. I don't know. I also got this big Mama Jamma. Oops. I've got some extra things in my box here. Hi. This has sort of a linen inlay, and I have no plans for this. Nope, none at present. But I just thought that they would be lovely. The one with the green inlay, I was hoping to do American Welcome this year, and I think it will fit in there. American Welcome has some green vine around the top. Could look delicious. I would really love that. Okay. I think this is a little weird, but you never know. This little heart frame with all this raised stuff. It's a little cutesy for me, but she threw it in as a freebie. What am I going to do? Call her back and be like, no? I thought that was very generous of her. This one I actually really like. I told her I wanted this one. Because there are a lot of small, like those Little House Needleworks Petites. Sometimes there's just like an initial, or I know you've seen Lori Holt. She makes covered buttons where she'll just take a motif of a piece and do a small one. So I just thought this could be a cute little collage of thingies. This is, I think, a 5x7. Just a little wood, pretty. And these were all like $5, $6, like not that much. I have some other ones. This one has a photo in it. Pardon the photo. This is my mother. When she was like 13, she said, please feel free to get rid of this photo. But the frame itself is gold and has some interesting detail. And then she has a baggie of other frames that I am not going to go through. They're a little more contemporary, but mostly they're in a plastic bag and loud. So, those are fun things to have in my arsenal. We'll see kind of how they get used over time. I have already pulled one out. One of the ones my mom sent was a larger one. Nothing in our house is black. I mean, I guess we have black drawer pulls, but we don't decorate with black. So she sent some black frames, and I thought, when am I going to use these? Well, I've already used one. In the closet, I had 2 black and white photos in black frames, and I had a black and white photo of my grandparents, and it fit really nicely into one of her black frames, and it went from a frame where it looked pretty to a frame where it's really a standout now. So I was excited, A, to help her clean out her closet, and B, to give it kind of a facelift and get it on the wall. So that was really fun. Other haul. I picked up Cardinal Kin. I got this in a D-Stash group. I've been eyeing it for a while. So Katie Strachan did a use your words, Emily. Silk conversion and sold kits. Oh, it's better if I tilt it just a tad. Do you need this closer? Did a silk conversion and sold kits with the fabric she put it on. This called for fabric is Winter Brew by R&R. Katie's is on Druid Blue by Legacy. I'm waiting on some other Legacy fabric to come in, so I called the shop and I was like, hey, hi, can I add some Druid Blue to that? So I'm going to do it on the Druid Blue. I'm also going to do it with 3 red cardinals instead of the multicolored cardinals. I've had a thing with cardinals ever since Bo passed away last year. There's that thing about whenever a cardinal is near, it's supposed to be somebody who has passed. Well, Bo passed away the morning of April 14th. And we had never seen a cardinal at our house. And that morning, one came right up onto the patio and just hopped right across our patio. And we both were like, oh my gosh. And ever since then, we have had cardinals. So is it a real thing? I don't know. I choose to believe it's a real thing because I love it and I enjoy it. So I wanted to stitch this. And I just really loved it on that Druid blue. I'm not going to do the silk conversion because it's just a little guy. And I'm trying to not get into silk because I think they're dreamy. And also I value having money in my bank account. So I try to save silk for my really super special pieces. And I will love this, but it does not qualify for silk in my life. The other fun addition I got is a milk glass bowl. These are, so I've learned, these are called lace edge bowls. They are by Anchor Hawking. They're usually from the 50s, but it kind of depends. They come in varying sizes. This is one of the larger sizes, and people use them to store scissors. You put your little scissors down in here. So I'm really enjoying that my neighbor's walking by looking in my window like, what is she doing? Don't worry about it, Tom. It's no big deal. That was part of my personal shopper request. I asked her, you know, if you're out, be looking. Sunny, the lady with the frames, also found that. So I'm really happy to have it and add it to my toys. I want to put something, there have been a lot of different tutorials on putting something in the middle, like a stitched piece, a little domed stitched piece. Some people use it for a pin cushion. I don't know if I will use it for a pin cushion or if I just want to put something decorative in there. Erica, I can't think of Erica's name. Arndt, maybe. She does a lot of really great tutorials, and she had one on how to do a pin cushion sort of deal that you poke in here. So, you know, in my free time, I'll just pencil that in. And then my big piece of haul is not something I purchased, but it was a gift from my bestie, who, by the way, broke up with me this morning. I'll tell you about that in a second. This is from Carrie. She sent it to me. I use USPS informed delivery. And I saw it was coming from her town. And so I took a screenshot and I was like, excuse me, ma'am. What is this? There appears to be a package originating from your abode. She was like, man, I knew I couldn't get anything by you. But this arrived. So she's been working on bag making. She's considering selling bags, and she is concerned about her quality, which is ridiculous because this is amazing. Inside is the same pink, but it's not too stiff. It's not too flimsy. It's not too thick. The back is beautiful. She has long arm quilted this panel. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not. But her piecing is impeccable. Like the way these points line up is, you just couldn't ask for anything better or higher quality. So very flattered that she took the time to share this with me because it is beautiful. Now, don't flood her DMs and say, I saw you made Emily a bag. Would you make me one? Because she's not ready yet. But when she gets ready, you best run because these bags are top notch. I'm here to tell you. Now, why did she disown me? So she texted me this morning and she said, well, we were having a conversation. My Seraphim fabric came. I didn't bring it. Shoot. My Seraphim fabric came and I told her that it was in the mailbox yesterday and I didn't go out and get it. And so I wanted to talk to her about it, but hers hasn't come yet. And I'm like, it's really inconvenient that your Seraphim doesn't come on the same day as mine because I can't talk to you about it. So we talked about that. Then she's waiting on something else to arrive. That's been a bit of an ordeal. So we were discussing how that ordeal seems to not stop. It's been going on for months. She's had an order she can't get filled. And then she said that she had a dream last night that we went trick-or-treating together and I ran off and left her. which I thought was funny. But I said, okay, number one, I really don't care for Halloween. Number two, I really don't care for trick-or-treating. Number three, if you convinced me to go trick-or-treating, and I can be impressionable, so sure, I mean, that's not that off base. But if we had gone trick-or-treating, I for sure would not have left you. And she goes, oh, thanks, I feel better. But then she said, you don't like Halloween? Carrie loves Halloween. And I was like, it's not my favorite. And she said, that's it, friendship over. And I said, I knew it was risky telling you. I did. So I joked that we broke up this morning because I don't like Halloween. We have very spirited exchanges. I enjoy them a lot. Okay, what else do I have? I think that is it. Let me check my notes. Yep, that's all I got. So it's a little shorter today. I'm at 35 minutes or so. I was planning on being back in 2 weeks and talking to you about Christmas night from the Historical Sampler Company. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know right now. So I kind of have 3 things on the docket. I was planning on Christmas night by the Historical Sampler Company. I was also planning to do a finishing tutorial for this. I was hoping to do that this week, but y'all, if I come on here and do a tutorial in addition to me blabbing for 40 minutes, like that's gonna be long. And I know not all of you, like some of y'all are like the longer the better, but that doesn't apply to everyone. So maybe breaking it out, I'm just thinking out loud here, maybe breaking it out into its own video would be good. Anyway, I was gonna do a tutorial for that. So this was on the horizon, Christmas night is on the horizon, and maybe the closet reveal. So that's 3 things. I don't know what's gonna happen next time. Something. We'll talk about something the next time I see you. And then the other thing is timing. So I've been doing it every 2 weeks. I like the 2-week cadence. 2 weeks from today would put us at May 7th. But we'll just see. If work continues to be ridiculous and I can't do every 2 weeks, Maggie, who's Home on the Ridge, Homemade on the Ridge, I think she's one on one platform and one on the other. If you're not watching her, you need to be watching her because she has primo ideas. But Maggie had said she originally tried to do every 2 weeks and she had to drop to every 3. And I've really been thinking about that a lot, and how I may have to. I'm just gonna play it by ear. If I am not back in 2 weeks, so my plan is to come back in 2 weeks. If it doesn't happen, I will at least post a short and say, it's not happening, guys, I'm so sorry, and let you know what the updated plan is. It's getting a little too difficult for me to plan ahead with my work schedule, so I'm gonna kind of play it by ear. So, other than that, we're just doing some planting. When we moved into our house a year and a half ago, there are plants. They are not all plants I would choose, and they are very overgrown. Some were too large for the spaces where they've been placed. So we've been making plans for how to adjust that. And I think by the time I see you next, that those plans will either be, they will either have happened or will be happening very soon. So I'm really eager to have a garden again. I spend a lot of time outside, even though it gets really super hot in our summertime. I love to be outside. I love having things in the garden that attract pollinators and butterflies and hummingbirds, and holly bushes are just, they don't do that. So I'm eager to take out the holly bushes and put in some new things. I'm not sure if you guys have heard that old saying, where plants are concerned, the first year you plant plants, they sleep. The second year they're in the ground, they creep. And the third year they're in the ground, they leap. So you really don't see a lot of progress for a couple of years. And that's okay. I mean, the time's going to pass anyway. So I'm eager to get them in the ground so that they can start their sleep, creep, leap journey and grow big and strong. So that'll be fun. If you're interested in hearing gardening hootenanny, let me know that. I can take you outside and show you what we're doing and what we've planted. That's actually what I'm doing as soon as I wrap up this video. I have a guy who's gonna help me with planting, and he's gonna order some things for me, and he said, I just need a list. So I need to get together the list of things that I want him to order so that we can get that rocking and rolling. So just wanted to say thank you for being patient and flexible with me as I try to figure out how to squeeze all of this goodness in with a really ridiculous work schedule. It's been working. So historically, it's been working out that one day, the Wednesday before my video posts, I film my video during lunchtime usually. And that has been working really great for my schedule, but that is now not great for my schedule. So I don't know when to film, but I know there's no time for editing. So I hope you won't quit me just because I'm not editing. But if you do, I understand. So until I see you next time, happy stitching. I hope things are going well for you. Happy spring. Easter will have just happened, so I hope that you had a great time celebrating with your family if that's something that you celebrate. Be well, all of those good things. Until I see you next time, talk to you later. Love you, bye.